Bonjour and welcome to Rauta's Swiss Black Metal Review. This time we have a solo project from Switzerland called Enoid. This is a curious case because everything should here point out for a rather cheesy and horrible one-man bedroom black metal project, having quite a big of catalog of various albums, everything done by one man and all. It's usually warning side because most of the bands, as you know, are not exactly very Vikernes quality, early works of Bergman and all that stuff. Usually, most often, one-man projects within black metal especially suck. You know, production-wise, songwriting-wise, and all that stuff. Now I'm happy to say Enoid is actually one of those um, better exceptions to the rule, and I guess there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, this guy has a big amount of experience in various bands, but not alone is not going to save anybody. I mean, we all know how much crap Rauta Johansson has been putting out with his massive amount of different death metal bands all sounding the same. So experience or amount of bands doesn't really testify to anything, doesn't prove a shit. The other thing is this guy actually owns a studio, which I guess has helped him to understand how to do good sounding recordings on his own and also handle a lot of instruments. More importantly, I think what goes as a good testament for this guy who uses this moniker called Ponyhake is that he has this band called Borgne, which I got to interview last year at Steelfest, and they play quite a good music. It's kind of industrial, with kind of a black metal with symphonic elements. Let's put it this way. That's why I was looking for words. But Enoid is a kind of a different breed. It's kind of a side project, but already been going for like 20 years now, and this stuff is more simplified than Borgne. It's more easy to approach. It's melodic. It's fast tempo, and that is actually the downside of it. There's not much originality on it, and if it could be a lot catchier, but everything here is pretty well done, so we can't really complain about it. Now, this album is actually the album number, let me count, 5, 6, 7, 8. Négation du Corps. And there has been a new album out since that, but I haven't gotten this Enoid, so I really can't compare to that. Or the previous ones, because I haven't heard it. So it's interesting to step into the album number 8 without having the reflection points with the album band discography. Anyway, let's talk about Négation du Corps. Pardon my French, it's not my native language. I don't really know it at all, beyond merci. So this one is pretty traditional in terms of how it's done. 8 tracks, 47 minutes. I mean, it's pretty much a classic uh, template which doesn't really get old. It's not too lengthy, that is, but it offers you enough variety with the given amount of songs and all that stuff. The songs are not super short, not too lengthy. Everything is kind of well set for something we could call a decent listening experience. So what we have here is melodic black metal going mid and fast tempo. That is enough to give this a variation. So you kind of get the flow, like it's not just fast blasting all the way through, nor it is just what min tempo, one trick pony kind of thing. So everything here is like quite okay. Now melodies are of course the driving force of this album. And if you're not really liking melodic black metal to begin with, I don't know if Enoid has much to offer to you. However, these melodies are not top notch. So even if you're a big fan of melodic black metal, don't expect the next big thing with Enoid just yet. I mean, the album is actually pretty decent. It's very enjoyable to certain degrees and all that stuff. But where it fails to make a big impact is certain level of catchiness or memorability. That is to say, while these songs have no major flaws, I mean, they are all kind of a good quality. It kind of lacks the final impact, the ones that kind of drill into your brain and you're like, man, those melodies are so good. And now everybody has different favorites when it comes to melodic black metal. A lot of people will keep dropping names like Dissection. I would say Mördergrying also, or Finnish band Sielun Vihollinen. They're all different styles. So whether you come from I don't know, Swedish take of melodic black metal, probably the leading country in the world in that respect, or from the Quebec French style of black metal. I say French style, even though it's Canadian, but you will get the idea when you're diving deep into Quebec melodic black metal, or coming from Finland, or French for that matter. The thing here is they all have their different styles when it comes to really melodic and somewhat catchy black metal, but not everything is catchy. Even though you have this kind of killer melody going in your head, not everybody is going to be like, yeah, I love your melodies because they're so, I don't know, addictive. None of these melodies are here too addictive, and I think that's the biggest flaw with this album. So like I said, it's not about the production. It's not about the vocals, which are actually pretty good, raspy, throaty black metal vocals, and it's not about the production overall. It's more like you have the tempo changes, you have the melodic output, and you have the kind of black metal atmosphere here. It's not the most extreme, it's not the most raw out there, but it's never not too polished either. So everything here is kind of in place, and you're just hoping if only these songs would be like the classic black metal tracks from the 90s, because this is definitely the kind of a second wave black metal. It's not going to reinvent the wheel or create something really new. So it's more like, yeah, let's do a 1990s kind of a black metal with lots of melodies and all that stuff, and it's supposed to work. And it works quite nicely, but is it like grade one? Unfortunately not. Now that is not to say this is not worth listening, because in my opinion it actually is. There are points where you kind of feel it's going to fly high and all that stuff, but it comes down way too quickly. So my final verdict would be saying this is pretty good of an album with score 7 out of 10. Definitely worth giving a shot, even if I would say Borgne is a little bit better band than that. But it's of course a little bit different style as well, so it all comes down to your personal taste, which kind of black metal you're into. But if melodic black metal with no gimmicks, no bullshit kind of a tricks is right up your alley, give Enoid a chance and maybe you will like it. It's pretty good after all. So there it is. See the links provided in the description box and start listening, and always, like, the physical product is the way to go if you like the band. See you with more reviews coming your way. Bye bye.